Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Glass Onion. So I really love the first Knives Out. I do wish I could have reacted to it, but I saw it before I started this channel. I loved how it subverted your expectations, and I'm fully expecting this to do the same. You might have seen a while ago, I did do a TikTok / YouTube short on something I thought about this film. So this is my theory on one of the motivations for the killer potentially, because I had seen that Dave Bautista's character was a YouTuber, so I made the prediction that he'd be like an Andrew Tate kind of figure. And then I've also seen people after watching this movie say, wow, how did Rian Johnson predict this? So I'm fully guessing that he is this alpha male grifter, and that Edward Norton, he runs a social media company, right? So I'm guessing Edward Norton removed him, deplatformed him from his social media, and then that's the motivation for Dave Bautista's character to kill him if it is Edward Norton's character who dies. That's my prediction on one of the motivations, but of course that might not be the actual one that the killer has. It might not be Dave Bautista, that might be too obvious. Again, I'm fully expecting this to be a subversion of your expectations somehow. The first Knives Out was kind of a meta subversion as well, because you found out who the killer was really early, and it was more about helping her escape and get away with it, and then it turns out there was another twist later. So I'm expecting there to be a double twist here, or there to be a twist along the lines of there's two killers, or there's no killer, it was an accident. You know, the first one, it was a suicide at first. Maybe this one, it was actually a suicide and it was like setting up someone or something. You know, that's the type of twist I'm expecting here, something meta within the whodunit narrative as well. So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon page. Over there you can find 1 week early access, you can find polls so you can vote for what's next, and you can find a full-length timer-based version of this where you just sync up your own footage and you can watch along with me. So yeah, let's just jump right in.
Subject to their approval. Hold on. Hey, oh shit, sorry. Let me,
Sign here.
Yeah, there's such a star-studded cast. Kathryn Hahn. And I know it's like, oh, she's a presidential candidate. Okay. It's like set during the pandemic. There's like characters wearing masks and things.
Has positioned herself as a very different kind of candidate. Governor, thanks so much for joining us.
Okay, so that's her obvious motivation. She wants to get power somehow.
Can tell him
no.
Lionel, you're a scientist, not a publicist.
Exactly.
You can't keep making excuses for every one of Miles Braun's insane whims.
Okay, so he's more of like a Elon Musk character. He's got multiple companies.
AI and dogs equals discourse. Okay, I mean, all night long. They just keep...
Yeah, there's very much Elon Musk, the kind of not keeping your promises.
no phone.
She's afraid that I will tweet an ethnic slur.
And get cancelled.
Yes.
Again.
And I say it like I see it. No filter. People can't handle it. That's their problem.
Whenever someone says they say it, they've got no filter, they say it how they say it. It's just an excuse to be mean.
Oh, wait, hold on, it's Birdie.
Okay, how do you open this thing?
Hi, Birdie.
I'm thinking of those puzzle boxes where you like spin them to make the magnets. The centrifugal force does the magnets.
Off the
It's
Twitter.
nothing like that. It's fine.
Yeah, she said, no fire spin inside.
I'm working on it. Bert, should you really be having a party?
No, they're all in my pod. It's fine. Has anyone heard from...
Oh yeah, this is mid-pandemic. Shouldn't be having a party.
There's nothing wrong with that, right, babe?
I love my boobs. They're so much fun. Oops. Sorry, feminist.
Sorry, feminist.
Yeah, exactly. Is the alpha male.
Calling you, you gotta answer me when I call.
Oh, will you shut it?
Does he just live with his mum though?
You tell your mother to shut up.
Sorry, it's just when we're live.
What?
So is he the complete opposite when he's off camera?
I can never do those.
Mom, what did I tell you about touching my stuff?
Oh, that's cool. I can never get those to work in real life though.
Set up for a maiden one, should I?
Do it, Kasparov.
Oh yeah. That's clever. The noughts and crosses, all different games. I mean, this is really cool. I'd love to have one of these boxes.
Okay, N is for north, so turn it due north.
I wonder how long it would take Benoit Blanc to decipher this box. Or is he better at like reading people, you know, maybe he wouldn't be good at that.
Based on just one tune.
And when you
layered this tune on top of itself.
It starts to change.
It's lucky they've got all of these people around to help solve it. Rearrange it and it's a new structure. Plot of the movie, perhaps? Is that some sort of hint?
A whole new tune.
Golden ratio, Fibonacci.
First one's a Fibonacci sequence.
I know this is all like a vacation on this millionaire's tropical island, right? So is it just going to give the coordinates to the island? So how does Benoit Blanc end up there? Does he get invited or something else?
Of my murder. Travel details to come. Please forward any dietary restrictions.
Has he actually been murdered, or is it like a fake murder mystery that will turn into a real one? That's what it seems like. I guess if it's a private island, do they have to obey COVID laws? Probably not. But she looks like she'll be bringing COVID to them anyway. Okay, some stark contrast here. Janelle Monáe. She's just gonna smash it apart, okay. I mean, that is one way to do it too. She's kind of sick of him, perhaps? Sick of his games? There's like instantly a contrast between with her as well, just like in her environment and the way she's acting too.
You're the imposter. We all know it. Case closed. We're done.
I mean, he would be perfect at this, wouldn't he?
I've got to say, the world's greatest detective? I thought she'd be better at this.
I think maybe this game's just not my thing.
Someone here for you. With a box.
I did also hear about him having a boyfriend. That's Philip, I'm assuming. I've seen his great romper too. Knives Out has some great fashion moments. I did kind of want to get a, you know, one of the Chris Evans jumpers to wear for this, but I just couldn't get one on time. So I wore this, something a bit more tropical that fits this film better. Oh God, she's got a mesh mask.
I was invited by Miles Braun. Tight with Miles? No, never met.
Yeah, Miles just wants him here as part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Greece.
Oh, Ethan Hawke as well.
No pineapple on that, right? Duke don't dance with pineapple.
There's no pineapple.
No pineapple.
I know what you are!
You won't be needing that anymore.
I won't.
You're good.
Oh, is it some cure to COVID? So Miles is just sitting on this cure, perhaps? Oh yeah, Janelle hasn't showed up. They're all shocked at her being here. She's not like his ex or something, is she? I mean, there's some clear setup that she hates Miles, but that's a bit too on the nose. It can't be her.
One legal move, cut her out completely. Booted her without a dime. Social networked her.
Oh, wow, okay.
Great.
This whole thing.
Bring it in. How you doing?
I'm so good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Duke doesn't like that. They've got some weird relationship.
Benoit Blanc, huh? Man, when you throw a murder mystery party, you do it right, buddy.
Dookie.
Oh, man. Hey, pal.
Yeah, Duke's got that jealousy. You can tell, you know, he's very insecure, really.
Andy.
Did he not invite her, or just didn't expect her to show up?
Of the Glass Onion.
You can see already how Benoit is like a bit of an outsider, standing on the edge, but like observing like before.
Ignore me. This is the full reclamation of everything I've achieved up.
Telling us to ignore him is making me pay more attention to him.
You invited me.
No, I didn't.
What?
Was it supposed to be Philip who was invited?
You sent me a box.
Wait, you received a box?
Yes. A wooden box was delivered to my home.
So was it meant for someone else and delivered to him?
Mr. Braun, I've learned through bitter experience that a
An anonymous invitation is not to be trifled with.
Yeah, they've sent it to him on purpose. Maybe the killer sent it to him to solve it for some reason. That is if there is actually a killer and Miles does get killed at some point. Or was that all a ruse by Miles? That was all just a lie for some reason.
Oh, the baby blue.
Iconic. You remember that night you almost pancaked me with it on the road outside of
Anderson Cooper's birthday.
Yeah, it's just name dropping so much.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's already observing things.
I was the one on magazines. He was nobody. You're Birdie J on billboards. I can't believe I'm talking to you. It was this little thing in my hand.
Are they exes or something? And then, of course, he's a millionaire. He just goes for the young new model.
Well, some people think Birdie's disruptive every time she opens her mouth.
It was a tribute to Beyonce, but people did not take it.
Blackface, okay.
She disrupted her own disruption. She made a killing. And look at Duke. You think people looked at him?
Can you really call them disruptors at this point when they're all millionaires?
You go with things that people are kind of tired of anyway. Everybody gets excited because you're busting up something that everyone wanted broken in the first place.
The whodunit genre?
Are you willing to break the thing that nobody wants you to break?
What's the biggest thing? What, the planet? There was that thing about him flying some kind of hazardous substance.
Even your partner will say, you need to stop.
So Andy tried to stop him going too far. That's kind of what it was, perhaps. And he was just on a power trip, so he got rid of her.
Everybody knows who Lionel works for. That's no secret. And we know who bankrolled Claire's campaign.
Yeah, so they're all indebted to him a bit.
Every single one of you is holding on for dear life to Miles Brine's golden titties. You'll stab a friend in the back to hold on.
Yeah, are they really actually friends, or are they just using him for his money? It's easy to buy friends when you're that rich. I like her, Birdie's friend, how she was just like in awe of Andy there.
It's a dangerous thing to mistake speaking without thought for speaking the truth.
Yeah, it seems like Andy is definitely the true speaker there.
My resume is just Birdie J, a short.
Oh yeah.
And then if her name is destroyed, then my name is
Destroyed as well. He's always listening in, of course. So what was that? She's gonna make some statement about Bangladesh? Some sort of apology or something? Is it like sweatshop workers in Bangladesh or something? She's been using child labor?
This is a smokeless garden.
He jealous? Is it because it's almost like Miles is more alpha than him, he makes more money, he's got a better girlfriend, he's, you know, all of that? Or Duke perceives her as a better girlfriend for some reason?
Welcome, gang. 2 cocktails before...
The Mona Lisa? Is that the actual one?
Why would you hang a framed print of the Mona Lisa front and center? It's like having a Che poster in your dorm room.
Come on.
Yeah, it's the real thing. The fake one is at the Louvre.
Louvre's closed. France needed money, and so I bought myself a little short-term loan.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And right here, I'm gonna unveil the future.
New material? Okay.
I don't.
Don't drop it.
Oh my God.
But it's highly volatile, isn't it?
0 carbon emissions, and it's derived from abundant seawater. I call it clear. And at this event...
It looked like he had a little reaction there. Is there something wrong there? It's not from seawater. It's not abundance for some reason. Lionel had a bit of a reaction there. Already tested? The island is run on it or something?
The whole glass onion is powered by clear.
Oh my God, Miles.
That means it could explode at any point?
It was Birdie who planted a remote device on a crossbow in revenge for you stealing her signature Ren diamond.
He's already figured it out.
Of course, there are other superfluous and rather clumsy clues. The hedgerow in the south garden, that spells...
Look at his reaction to this, though. Couldn't he have just kept it in, not ruined it for everyone?
My God, that just felt so good, so...
Yeah, he has been craving this murder mystery, hasn't he?
I hired Gillian Flynn to write the whole thing.
Oh, she's quite good.
She's goddamn expensive, is what she is.
Is he gonna get Benoit to do another one? He could set up another one. Let him be the game master instead.
I ruined your game on purpose. An object that seems densely layered, but in reality the center is in plain sight.
Yeah, it's just see-through.
Place the idea of your murder in their heads. Like putting a loaded gun on the table and turning off the lights.
So he thinks this is like almost a suicide.
For at least one person on this island, this is not a game.
So who could it have been? You kind of immediately rule out Andy because she destroyed the box completely. But maybe that is a subversion. Could she have somehow contacted the person that made them to make another one for Benoit?
You made money off of Alpha all those years. You did fine. You got yours. I got it.
No, she was pushed out of it.
My life was taken away from me by someone, by everyone in this room. My life!
Did they all like testify against her in court as well?
The truth is that we are all holding on to that golden tip.
They all know it could happen to them at the same time.
It changes things, right?
It sure does.
Numbers like this. Maybe we can talk Alpha News.
What's going on? He's not in the middle of some controversy. That's why there's loads of numbers, is it?
Have we ever not pulled through, pulled it off? You're staying. Yes?
I'm a bit confused here. I thought, is that Whiskey? I thought Whiskey was Whiskey and the person who was with Miles. I thought they were two separate people, but is it like the same person? And Duke was like looking on at Whiskey cheating with Miles.
It doesn't even matter. It's so silly. Wow! Look at that dress fit, Birdie. That's amazing. Just.
Look at you.
I am wondering if maybe Miles planned for Benoit to solve it. They keep focusing on the Mona Lisa here. Will it like just disappear? Someone's stolen it or something? There was a moment where Claire bumped into him and I was like, did she put something in his drink?
What's that? Come on, guys.
But Andy did also bump into him. That reaction from Birdie seems a bit fake.
Are you treating this as a crime scene then?
Oh my God. No, wait, this is bad.
Yeah, she can't be involved in this. That will, yeah. That bucket definitely wasn't big enough.
Guess if something was put in his drink. Intentionally.
I mean, I quite obviously saw Claire bump into him and it looked like, I even thought like, did she put something in his drink? But is that too obvious? Was it not through his drink? There was something else that killed him.
You know, pick your poison.
Come to low tide in the morning, 6 a.m. at the early.
Yeah, it gives them a bit of time to investigate.
I suggest you all retire to your rooms.
I mean, that's smart. Just lock yourself away. Don't do anything.
That's your glass, Miles.
Oh, it was meant for him.
He picked up mine.
So it could have even been him and he accidentally killed himself.
I'm keeping you all in plain sight until that boat arrives.
What about his other mate who keeps coming in and out? I don't even know his name yet. I'm assuming that's his brother.
Forget about his phone, look.
Oh, his gun as well.
But at some point this evening it was gone.
Need to search everyone. Andy did bump into him. That was possibly her taking the gun.
Oh my God, something touched me.
Do not panic.
I thought I heard like a gun cock.
Hell's bells, just everybody, just stay here.
Yeah, they need to keep everyone contained. Oh, there's Andy running past.
Helen!
aim for Benoit or Andy?
We only need one last piece of information, and only you can.
Yeah, and she dies, the only one that can. Are they all gonna blame him because he was right by the body? Oh, it was Birdie with the knife. They're kind of all on their pedestals here a bit.
It's time to finish this.
He really took that personally, her one, compared to Duke's.
Only one person can tell us who killed Cassandra Brand.
Oh, it's who delivered the package.
Yeah.
Is this Benoit Blanc's residence?
What is this regarding?
So it was Cassandra who dropped it off. Okay, so they were all in on it together.
Mr. Blanc, 2 days ago, I received a call. My twin sister committed suicide.
She had a twin? So Benoit was kind of all in on all of this all along a little bit?
You know, she kept a journal every day of her life since she was 6 years old.
They did say at one point, oh, you're like a whole different person.
Something's off.
What do you mean?
She's changed.
Heavens, the dog ate the caviar again.
She's used to acting rich.
Andy didn't commit suicide.
Oh, so that's the murder we're really investigating.
And I'm going to use it to burn his whole empire down. I'm giving you all one last chance to make things right.
So they murdered her before she can do something, some secret that would ruin them all.
And then the next day, she's dead in the garage with sleeping pills in her system.
That would be why they're so surprised that she showed up. They assumed she was dead. Or maybe one of them did, Miles at least.
I could keep it from leaking to the press for another week, maybe.
Even if it at least leaks to the press while they're on the island, that's okay.
I'm proposing that you come with me to that island.
So whoever killed her was intending to kill Cassandra, but there's still who tried to kill Miles with how Duke died.
Why would anyone suspect you showing up playing your sister when they don't know your sister is dead?
Well, some of them might know that she's dead.
Mr. Blanc, is this safe?
And that's why he reacted so much to her dying as well. He already had this interest. It's great. Janelle Monáe, through the acting, you can just tell, you know, look at the body language, the difference between her playing Helen and her playing the sister, or Helen playing the sister.
Miles Braun is not an idiot. Miles Braun is not an idiot. To risk committing murder after a very public court case, possibility.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if someone was willing to do it for him.
Yeah, he'd manipulate someone to do it, or he'd hire someone to do it.
Introduced him to the group. This is Miles.
Hey, nice to meet
you. They look so different.
You know, I wanna be responsible for something that gets talked about in the same breath as the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, he wants to leave a legacy. So yeah, it was all Andy really, but he helped.
Right after the verdict, Miles suddenly found the napkin written in his handwriting.
Oh, so he wrote it again and put his handwriting on it. But she must have found something else that would be in this email.
Who could have been at Andy's house that night? Opportunity.
The thing is, they're so rich, they could have just hired a hitman.
You must be really great at clue hunting.
I'm very bad at dumb things. My Achilles heel.
She kind of fills in the blank where he isn't very good at that.
That is your chance to snoop.
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 I love this. They were working together since the beginning.
I read your court transcripts and you got shanked.
So Whiskey's on her side too.
Duke just treats me like arm candy and they just ignore me.
Why do you put up with it?
With Duke? I'm building my brand.
Yeah, she's just using Duke. And maybe he knows about that.
There was a time, you know, back when.
Oh, she can record it all.
The crime, the nature of it.
How did she die as well? Like, how did they actually kill her?
And the murder itself, it's non-violent. Gentle, even.
So just a bit of poison, the same poison perhaps that was used to kill Duke.
Oh, this is some funky health stuff.
Look at this mirror focusing on Birdie there.
This is some funky health stuff.
Is that some sort of clue there or something to throw us off?
Helen, please, think of the danger here.
I'm just hoping no one else noticed how close Helen and Blanc were.
I never email anything that I wouldn't want to see on the front page of the Times.
Yeah. And she doesn't know about the call.
What time did you get there?
I don't know. It was dark.
Was she already dead when they got there?
You were already there.
He almost got in an accident on his motorcycle. He was driving so fast.
Andy, I almost got pancaked.
Is there something more? Like it was none of them that killed her?
Or were you just showing up so you could stop me from using that envelope?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have a motive for Duke or Birdie.
Do either of you two want to do a session or what?
Oh, she's actually just there.
We really need this. So do this for me one last time, okay?
Oh, was Whiskey doing that for Duke? Flirting and getting with Miles. Okay. There is that jealousy still from Duke, but that explains it a bit better.
Put him on Alpha News, okay?
Okay. You know, we're getting this recontextualization of everyone grasping their fists, you know?
I'm done. Peg, don't talk to me. Wait. 10 years.
They haven't considered Peg, really. They've considered Birdie, but not Peg. Like, could Peg have done it to keep Birdie in the clear?
Sounds perfect, thanks. With your emoji dabbing.
Did she even know what that meant?
Please tell me you did not think sweatshops.
Sweatpants, yeah. There's also, you know, this other guy has been walking around the island. Who is he? What's he up to?
Dinner, they won't have an envelope that size on their person. They'll have to hide it in that room.
I feel like there's something more with the Mona Lisa as well. It's not hidden behind the Mona Lisa.
He's a son of a bitch, Whiskey. Leave his ass.
She already knew that.
Search their rooms, ransack them, fast and thorough.
But did someone know they'd been there and found it? And that's why she was killed later? Damn it. Who is this phoning her? Yeah.
Hell.
Oh, is it already leaked that she's dead? Was that why Duke's phone was blowing up all the time as well?
I left Duke because I couldn't. He didn't deserve this.
Yes, he did. Okay? He is a bad.
She doesn't know that he's dead.
He deserved what he got. And you are better off without him.
Does she think she killed Duke then?
Blanc.
Oh? Lionel knows something's up?
We only need one last piece of information, and only you can.
Here's the last piece of information. Yeah, something happened. I was thinking, could that have been a subversion? She's not dead. Was that set up? The book saved her. So it was someone trying to kill her. It wasn't all set up by Helen and Blanc. The hot sauce. Ah. I was wondering how they'd get the blood.
Killer thinks you're dead.
That's a lot easier. But surely the killer would see her get back up.
This'll be good.
All right in his eyes to make him cry. Don't let that hot sauce get in her mouth. She won't react to it.
Andy.
Or in her eye. Oh. She just about got away with that.
Another layer and another layer and
because there's nothing in the center.
You see, I expected complexity.
Yeah, he has the napkin out on display. Oh.
His grasp of disruption theory is remedial at best. He didn't design the puzzle boxes. He didn't write the mystery.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything himself. He's not actually that smart.
I assumed Miles Braun was a complicated genius. But why?
He's just good at acting.
Miles Braun is an idiot. Nobody tried to kill you, you vainglorious buffoon.
He put something in his own glass by accident.
Look at that dress spin. Birdie, that's amazing. Just...
You handed Duke your own glass.
I want to keep an eye out for that in editing to see the actual moment.
He told all of us. Right out in the open, he told us.
Iconic.
Yeah, he did.
You almost pancaked me with it on the road outside of Andy's.
Anderson Cooper's birthday.
And he said Anderson Cooper's birthday to throw us off.
Who did the envelope threaten?
Miles, yeah. But they're all reliant on Miles as well.
So Miles drives his baby blue Porsche.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done his baby blue. Duke wouldn't have recognized it.
When he got a Google alert on his phone, which is now fallen strangely silent.
Yeah. So that's what he showed on the phone earlier.
Right out in the open, Duke showed him.
That changes things, right?
It sure does.
And told him exactly what he wanted in return for his silence.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, God.
He's allergic to pineapple juice.
Duke, don't dance with pineapple.
An allergy.
Yeah, I was thinking, was it an allergic reaction when he was choking?
Pineapple juice in his whiskey. It's so dumb.
Did they even know she had a sister?
Helen, your sister. Oh, wait!
You have a loaded gun conveniently within reach, and the lights had even been turned off. It's like putting a loaded gun on the table and turning off the light.
He got that idea from that conversation?
With any panache at all. And you stole the whole idea from me.
Andy's handwriting. I got you, son of a bitch.
But he's still got the gun, doesn't he?
The bar closed 9 years ago, and hers has one thing that yours just doesn't.
Ah. I was thinking, can they date it as well, date the paper?
Okay, but second,
oh,
if this was just us playing my murder mystery game, which we should have been doing all weekend.
Could they have been recording some of this conversation though? Helen still had that recorder.
You want to take that to the cops? You want to take it to the courts?
Is that Kanye Jesus behind him?
Anywhere you go, it's going to be your word against mine. How do you think that's going to go?
I feel like if they recorded this conversation, is that still enough? He hasn't really said anything.
Raise your hand and say, I saw him take Duke's gun.
They're all in on his money, aren't they?
I have to answer to the police, the courts, the system.
Yeah.
Except maybe offer you some courage.
Encourage him to just take it into our own hands? Or did he just hand her in the other hand? Oh! I don't know what they call the material, the hydrogen. She's just gonna blow this, just, you know, chuck it on the ground, blow this place up.
Hell yeah!
Let it all out.
Was that to cover the noise of something? More glass breaking elsewhere?
I think that belonged to Liberace.
Okay, are we done?
I thought she was going to do something to the Mona Lisa. Or is she making it look like one of these bits exploded in here? She's starting a bigger fire? I'm still not 100% sure what she's doing here. Oh, all of the evidence burnt away. She can say there was a fire here or something and that's how the napkin burnt. It was totally a bit of that, yeah. Just gonna chuck it into the fire.
Oh, shit!
Oh, wow. Yeah, because the whole place is running off it, isn't it? So was that just all a suicide and to also kill all of them there, just as her revenge? And then this guy again. Or maybe some of them are alright here, yeah. Baby blue. I mean, if the Mona Lisa gets destroyed when it's in his possession. Oh yeah, there's the override, of course.
Mona Lisa.
I mean, that's him ruined anyway, even if he survives this, right? Mona Lisa's priceless.
Your feel of the future just barbecued. The world's most famous painting, you dumbass.
Yeah, how can he ever sell it?
To forever be remembered in the same breath as the Mona Lisa.
Burnt up.
We all saw the same thing. We know what happened.
Now they can lie.
I saw the napkin he burned.
God, now that you mention it, I clearly saw him grab Duke's gun.
Okay, so that was Glass Onion. I don't think anyone really could have predicted the twin twist that kind of comes out of nowhere. I'm usually not a huge fan of twin twists like that, just because they seem a bit cheap usually, but the way it's worked here is not really done in a way to reveal that a character is like another character all along or something. It's because she was already dead, Andy was already dead, and it was Helen taking her place, so it didn't really feel like other twists with twins, you know? And it worked well with Helen's motivation, and it happens early enough in the film that there's still more to go on, and we can still learn more and more things be revealed later on in the film. It's not the primary twist, but I have noticed now in the two Knives Out films, there is kind of this little twist that happens before the film, before the continuity of the film, that reveals something of kind of how Benoit came to this situation. Before, it was all about who wrote him the letter to come to the mansion, and in this one, of course, it is Helen coming to him for help. So if there is a third one, I'll be looking out for that as well, if it will be the same thing. Whoever hired Benoit is part of the mystery somehow. I do also like how Benoit isn't really the center of attention here. Of course, he is the main investigator, but it is really Helen who gets to shine here. And same in the first one, it was Ana de Armas who got to shine, and here is Janelle Monáe. They both get to shine here. They're truly the main focus and the main heart. Benoit is more of a bit of a catalyst of the story, really, more than he is his own character. We don't really learn that much about him, especially in the first film. This one, we do get a bit more characterization. We meet Philip, his boyfriend, and we see him like bummed out during the pandemic playing Among Us, but he's never really the main focus here. Is never characters he loves or about characters he loves. Maybe they could do that in a later film and make things more personal, but I don't know if that necessarily needs that. I like him kind of being an outsider from the situation in these films. He does act as an observer most of the time. And speaking of pandemic, I did like how they incorporated it in. It did feel pretty natural. I mean, they captured kind of how celebrities handled it. You know, we had Birdie who just didn't care. She even had that old mesh mask, you know, and then she was hosting parties, all of this. And then we have Miles who has a cure or like a temporary thing or something that stops the exhalation of the particles, you know, and he's just hoarding that, I'm assuming, hoarding that technology only for himself and his friends. Miles was a great satirization of the millionaires, especially, you know, Elon Musk. A little bit of Mark Zuckerberg in there as well, but I feel it feels like it's mainly Elon Musk, especially with kind of how he gets this praise for being a genius, even though a majority of his ideas are stolen. We saw here he even stole the idea of the darkness shooting in the dark from Benoit. And the thing is, I fully fell for that as well. You know, I never noticed anything wrong in his speaking. I just assumed he was using some advanced language, advanced terminology when he was talking to be smarter, but he was kind of just making up words to make him sound smarter. He just had the confidence kind of to pull it off. And then like even in his art taste as well, of course, one of the richest people in the world, they're going to want to have the Mona Lisa in their art gallery. And there was one of the paintings he had was like Kanye West, like worshipping Kanye West as Jesus, which is just like tacky, really. Anything that's like pop culture like that is a bit tacky. And then he has a lot of stereotypical art, I guess you could call it, you know, like your Banksy, your big names, where it's more about the status than it is about the actual art. It's your Banksys, your Basquiat. He had one, I don't know if I pronounced that right. He even has a Rothko that is hung upside down from what it should be, just showing like he doesn't really care about the art here. It's just about the status of it, him looking, you know, smart and cultured. And I did like him being the main culprit here. It's kind of, as Benoit said, it's a glass onion. It appears to have layers, but it's actually transparent. You can see right through it. And I feel like that is a little bit of a meta-narrative that Rian Johnson is throwing in there, because he knows people will overanalyze this. You know, there's going to be people who saw the first and really like the first and are going to be going into this with this expectation of a big twist and everything. So he's kind of subverting that in that way. Like the twist of the killer wasn't a super huge twist. I think if it was any of them, it wouldn't have been a super huge twist anyway, because we were all suspicious of all of them anyway, you know? You know, it was him. He was one of the most obvious ones, but the twist is almost in the way that it is revealed that he's just kind of stupid and it's not as complex as we think it is. I find that's a really good meta way to do it, because he knows people are going to be over analyzing this, and he can still have a twist in here with Helen being the twin that people wouldn't have expected. If anyone got that Helen twin one, I'd be very surprised and very impressed. I think the only thing that would have given that away is one offhand comment by Claire saying she's not acting like herself or something along those lines. I think that was the only thing that would have given that away. I did get a little bit confused with Whiskey. I think just because I saw Whiskey, you know, when she came out the pool, everyone's paying attention to her. I assumed that that was Miles's girlfriend. I just didn't really recognize her between her like quick little glimpse we saw of her with Duke at the start and then her there. I thought that was just like Miles's new girlfriend. You know, of course he's a millionaire, like what, in his 50s, 60s, and this young like 20-year-old or something. I thought it was kind of a play on that. I didn't realize it was actually Whiskey. And I think because before in that scene where she was with Duke, she was kind of dressed up a bit to be a bit more like, I don't know, look a bit more like a handyman, or, you know, that type of look. So I didn't quite recognize that, but I put it together later on anyway. Like it was the same person, Whiskey, and who I assumed was Miles's girlfriend, and that shows, you know, how close Whiskey was with him to try and get Duke in on that Alpha News channel thing. And then both of these Knives Out movies, they very obviously have this critique of the rich and powerful. The first one is almost like old wealth, old money, and then this one is new money, all self-made billionaires who are, you know, they're up on their private island, where the first one is kind of the old wealth where they're in their mansions. And then the main character is this working class girl, you know, before it was Ana de Armas's character. I can't quite remember the character's name. And here's Janelle Monáe as Helen, who was this like struggling teacher who she eventually got her revenge. She didn't earn a lot of money like in the first one, but she did get her revenge, taking down Miles and Alpha Industries. And the others, really, because they were reliant on Alpha Industries, they're probably all in trouble financially as well now if that all goes under. We do see with the others, there was like this little hint of a redemption, but they never quite fully realized that. You know, when Helen, she's like destroying all this glass, she's setting up the fire, she's getting ready to throw this chemical into the fire. We see the others, they start to join in a little bit, but when it gets too far, is uncomfortable for them and they stop, where she actually starts the fire. So it shows their support is actually quite performative there, doesn't it? And then at the end, when they actually decide to do the right thing by not lying and saying, yeah, we saw the napkin, all of that, they're only really doing that because it's in their best interest. The rich only do what is right when it's in their best interest, because they all would have been tied to him. So if this is kind of their way of getting out of it a little bit and saying in court, yeah, that, you know, that's the way of them all shifting the blame onto Miles, really. So it's their way out of the murder charges, especially now that Cassandra's murder or death was public, and of course Duke's would probably be as well. You know, with Duke, they had that tiny bit of setup with him saying, no, I don't deal with pineapple, and it's also kind of his way of, you know, he's this big muscular man, this alpha male, you know, pretending to be an alpha male, and he's saying, no, I don't mess with pineapple. He's not willing to kind of give up the information that he has this weakness, he has this allergy to pineapples. I guess that was still public information though, because Miles did know about that. It wasn't an accident that he died. You know, he's so macho that he doesn't mess with fruits. Fruits are girly cocktails he doesn't mess with. But then there's also pineapple, and how pineapple juice can affect the certain taste of things, and maybe he's not putting his woman first, that kind of deal. And I loved his, you know, that little bit of what we saw of his relationship with his mum. Of course, he isn't actually this big macho man that can stand up for himself like he puts on. Like the second his mum's there and slaps him around the face, he's like, okay, sorry mum, you know. It's all very performative. There's a lot of good setup and payoff, especially with Duke with the pineapple and him, you know, saying he always has his gun on him, and then you realise the gun isn't there. Him and Dave Bautista's performance was really one of the standouts here. I do think some characters get to shine more than others. I do wish Kathryn Hahn maybe got a bit more to go on here. And then like Lionel and Birdie and Peg, you know, they definitely have their moments, but they're not like the focus here. Of course, when you have Edward Norton, he has to be one of the main characters, and he was great. I liked his speech at the end, but I do have to say, I think I preferred the Chris Evans speech. You know, there is that similarity where when they are found out, they give their speech. But I remember the one with Chris Evans with Ransom, where he was like, you know, you've got nothing, you've got no lawyers, we'll take you down. I think that was a bit of a better speech than the one that Miles gave in this. And I do think overall I preferred the first. Not that it's like a huge competition between the two, they are both good, but I think the first has a bit more of that originality to it. Of course, it has to follow up on the first. There's not that surprise factor that the first had. There was also a few characters that didn't get utilized too much, like Peg, who was Birdie's assistant. And then this guy, I don't even know if we got a name for him, who was just kind of randomly on the island. Was it Miles's brother or something, I'm assuming, who's like a bit of a slob? I was wondering if they would potentially have bigger roles in the plot, because it did seem like Peg would have also had a motive, you know, because Birdie was potentially losing her career, and that was all part of Peg's CV, where she kind of needed that reputation from Birdie, so Birdie losing her reputation would have ruined her as well. So there was like a motive there. I think the other guy, he was a bit too much of a side character for it to actually have been him all along, but maybe they could have tied something in where he gave away a little bit of a clue, like accidentally saying something or letting something slip that he shouldn't have, and it actually like unraveled the whole case. You know, maybe he could have done that, but he was still just quite fun as this like background character. You know, we had a few big celebrity cameos in this where they're just tiny little roles, like Ethan Hawke being the chauffeur early in the film and then he's never there again, and like the Serena Williams one where you assume is like this poster and then she's actually alive, she's like live talking to them, and as well Hugh Grant as Philip. I do hope we get more of these stories. You know, if they want to finish it with a trilogy, that would be good, but it'd be so great just to keep rolling these on. I know I've seen you know, that joke a lot of people say they should do a Muppet one where the Muppets are all of the characters with Benoit. That would be great, actually. I think I'd actually really enjoy that. but I feel like, you know, the first one was old money, old wealth. This one is very much new money and new wealth. And then maybe the next one, it could be future wealth. On Twitter, there's this big thread of people saying who should be the cast of the next Knives Out film. And, you know, people said the Muppets, people said all sorts of things. And there was one with a bunch of influencers. And I was thinking that could maybe work in this theme of old money, new money, then like future money. That could be cool. That would be a cool way to thematically tie in like a whole trilogy. Or if they wanted to just keep going and going, doing even more, I'd love that too. Although at some point I think they would have to stop, just because there's only so much you can like satirize and perform all of these twists without it getting old. You know, you're going in expecting a twist, which is exactly what Rian Johnson is hoping for in this movie, because he can subvert your expectations with that. There's also a lot of foreshadowing in things characters say, you know, about being disruptors and turning things on their heads and doing things from different perspectives. You know, I feel like there's a lot of things you can apply to scenes that happen later on. The foreshadowing in this was really great. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment. And if you really loved it, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date for all the future uploads. See you, thanks for watching. Bye.